So that's the way our elite streak ended. We hit 10 straight elite bets until the Chiefs bent over and took it in the ass last night in Jacksonville. They were laying 3.5. They had every chance in the world to cover that bet, especially when they had a 28-24 lead with a minute 45 left, but they still lost to the Jags 31-28. You got to be kidding me. We had been on fire hitting elite bets. I thought we had it in the bag, especially when the game was 14-0 early. Did you see Trevor Lawrence on his 26th birthday? He made the winning tutty. He did it all for the Jags last night. He led them in rushing. He had 54 yards rushing. He threw a couple of touchdown passes. Hunter had a big game. He had a huge 44-yard catch. But it was the last play that mattered for Lawrence. He took the snap, fell backwards, tried to get up, fell backwards again, got up, broke a couple tackles, ran to the left, and dove into the end zone for the winning score. Mahomes had a chance, but his last pass was incomplete, and that was the end of it. So the Jags are 4-1 now for Liam Cohen, and they snapped their 8-game losing streak to the Chiefs, and they matched their win total from last season. So Mahomes had given the Chiefs a 28-24 lead with a minute 45 left, had a chance with 16 seconds left, but it didn't happen. Cohen talked about how they have resiliency. He's like, this team's crazy. We make things very interesting, but the resiliency is really what I think this team has. Lawrence ran for 2 tutties, threw for a tutty, and did so well. It was unbelievable. I mean, this guy gets stepped on by the right guard, Macari, and falls down, gets up, and wins the game. And they are something else. They're the sleeper team in the NFL this season. That's all there is to it. Jones of the Chiefs said, we got to finish the play. It was a fluke play for him to be able to break that many tackles. I put it on us. The defense, we've got to finish. We've got to bring him down right there. Lawrence was 18 of 25 for 221. I told you he ran for 54 yards. That was a team high. Mahomes, on the other hand, accounted for 2 touchdowns. Kareem Hunt ran for 2 more tutties. Kansas City had won 23 straight when they led by 14 in a game. They were up 14-0, thanks in part to a fumble by Lawrence at the goal line. And the comeback started when Jacksonville got a Devin Lloyd pick. And it wasn't just a pick. The AFC Defensive Player of the Month for September picked off a pass at the goal line, basically at the 1-yard line. And he went 99 yards to the hizzy. It was the longest interception return in the regular season by a linebacker in NFL history. He stepped in front of Mahomes' pass for Juju Smith-Schuster, picked it off at the goal line, went the other way. He juked Mahomes. He juked Hunt. He got down inside the 5. Tyquan Thornton tried to knock it out of his arms, but it didn't work. He scored. Lawrence said it was a big win, obviously a good team win. They got a good team for a long time over there. They're hard to beat. They really are. At the end of the game, we're always in it, or they're always in it, and they always seem to make the play. So it was cool for us to go take it and have to win it at the end, put together a good drive. We showed up on the big stage and got it done. It does say something about us. Travis Hunter, 2 big-time plays, including the 4th longest reception by a rookie this season. He hauled in a 44-yarder in the 3rd quarter. It wasn't easy. Guys all over him. He jumped up and reached over Connor to snare the ball and then held on. He got his legs wiped out. The Jags scored 4 plays later to tie the game at 14-all. His catch and run in the 2nd quarter was just as nice. He took a short pass in the left flat, juked a couple guys, and gained 12 yards. He's got it all going. Worthy looked like he hurt his ankle again for the Chiefs. He left the game, but he came back. He was questionable before the game when he got off the plane with a swollen ankle. Brenton Strange, who we had, the tight end of the Jags, on a prop, that prop lost because he left the game after 1 catch with a hip injury, never returned. We hit the Thornton prop. We hit the Dodgers and Brewers, so we ended up 3-2 on the night betting. But we finally lost an elite play. The Chiefs host Detroit on Sunday night, and the Jags host Seattle on Sunday in Jacksonville. Are you kidding me? They could be 5-1 if they can win back-to-back home games here. That was enormous. Last night in the NBA pre, as if it matters, Milwaukee 103-93 over Miami. Houston 122-113 over Atlanta. Detroit beat up on Memphis 128-112. Dallas 106-89 over Oak City. Denver 112-108 over Toronto. They played that game in British Columbia. So that game was crazy. Now, I just want to go through the baseball from last night because we hit both games and it was huge. Blake Snell had yielded the Dodgers to the bullpen after a great start against the Phillies. The bottom line is both teams had great pitching in this game. Snell had it all going. He said, we knew we were going to win. I don't know how he knew that. He allowed 1 hit in 6 shutout innings, striking out 9. The Dodgers made a couple of huge defensive plays, and they win 4-3 in Game 2. They won both games to start the series at the bank in Philly. Freddie Freeman made a game-saving pick at first base. Ohtani delivered an RBI single that helped the Dodgers, as I said, now lead that best of 5 2-zip, and they're going home. The defending World Series champs can reach their 17th NLCS with a Game 3 win on Wednesday at Dodger Stadium. Dave Roberts said it was a heck of a ball game. Lots to unpack in that one. They improved to 4-0 this postseason. Remember, they won their first series 2-zip with a quick sweep. He said it was a great ball game, great plays, huge win. Will Smith had a 2-run single and a 4-run 7th. The Dodgers took a 4-1 lead into the bottom of the ninth. Then the Phillies rallied. Castellanos slid headfirst into second base, eluding the tag for a 2-run double off Trinan that sent the crowd into a frenzy, and it made it 4-3. Vesia came in to face Bryson Scott, who tried to advance Castellano with a bunt, but the third baseman Muncy wheeled and threw to shortstop Betts, covering the bag to tag out Castellanos. A brilliant play. Robert said those guys executed it to perfection. It was a lot tougher. They made it look easier than it was, and for me, that was our only chance really to win that game in that moment. Harrison Bader singled, and Kepler grounded into a fielder's choice that left runners in the corners with 2 outs. Sasaki entered and then got Trey Turner, the NL batting champ, on a ground out to second for his second career save. He's a rookie. They got it done. Freeman went to his knees to pick Edmonds' poor throw on his backhand, keeping his right toe on the bag before rolling over onto his back with the ball in his mitt. And obviously, Freeman said, Tommy threw one into the dirt. Thankfully, I was able to catch it and stay on the base. That was very stressful. Obviously, Rob Thompson, the Phillies manager, said he'll hold a team meeting once the team gets to L.A. He said, I love the fight in the 8th and 9th. They fought like hell, and hopefully that carries over into Wednesday. But we're resilient. Our backs are against the wall. We got to come out fighting. Kepler flashed some of the late spirit when he tripled in the 8th and scored on Turner's single to trim it to 4-1. They were down 4-0. And Snell was sensational in holding the Phillies to another bad night with the bats. Turner, the NL home run champ, Schwarber, and 2-time MVP Bryce Harper went a combined 1 for 10 with 5 strikeouts. Unbelievable. Luzardo was tough for the Phillies. He threw 24 pitches in the first inning before he settled down and retired. 17 straight Dodgers until Teoscar Hernandez singled leading off the inning. Bottom line was I thought Luzardo pitched well in this game. Smith lined a 2-run single for a 3-0 lead, and Ohtani, who struck out 4 times in the opener, and again leading off Game 2, ripped a run-scoring single off of Stram for his first hit of the series. The Dodgers used, of course, the injured list this season 37 times for over 2,500 days. according to Major League Baseball, are finally healthy. Nice time to be healthy in the playoffs and the postseason. And they need just one win in 2 home games to clinch the series. Teams taking a 2-0 lead in the best of 5 postseason series have won 80 of 90 times, including 54 sweeps. The Phillies were 1 for 18 with 9 strikeouts through 6 innings. Bottom line is, they're in big trouble, mister, going to Lipstick City. And what about the Brewers? Last night in Brewtown in Milwaukee, Andrew Vaughn and Jackson Chourio each hit 3-run shots. Contreras added a solo shot, a deep shot to center. And the Brewers, they were down 3-0, but they beat the Cubs 7-3 to move 1 win from a trip to the NLCS to play for the pennant. The Brewers have a 2-0 advantage in the best of 5, which shifts to Wrigley in Chicago on the north side for Game 3 on Wednesday. Teams, as I said, that have a 2-zip lead get it done. They sweep 54 times. They win 80 of 90. And I know I say it twice because that's how amazing it is. Milwaukee attempted to win a postseason series for the first time since 2018 when it reached Game 7 of the NLCS. Pat Murphy, I love this manager. He's funny, he's cool, he's hip. He looks like he likes to eat and drink beer. We've just got a good collection of players. Remember the guy was like putting food in his back pocket during games during the season and eating food? He's like sticking pretzels in his pocket and busting them off in the middle of the game. I like any manager that does that. He said, I call them cliffhangers, these guys that don't know if their locker's going to be there when they get back to the deal. That's a fun thing. That hunger makes us look like we know what we're doing. It's pretty cool. Vaughn and Chourio hit the first 2 3-run homers in Brew Crew postseason history. Contreras' solo shot in the 3rd inning broke the tie at 3-all and made it 4-3. They never looked back. Suzuki hit a 3-run shot, a 440-foot shot to left center in the 1st inning against Aaron Ashby, the Brew Crew starter. They had the 3-zip lead after coming out of the bullpen in 42 times out of 43 appearances this season. Ashby served as the opener in this game, but the Cubs didn't score again in the game. Nick Mears, Mizorowski, Chad Patrick, Jared Koenig, Trevor McGill, and Abner Uribe combined for 7 1/3 of shutout relief in which they allowed just 1 hit. That's crazy. Craig Counsell said we got to find a way to create more pressure, and that's base runners, hits, walks. We got to have more pressure and make innings and kind of pitching decisions that make it tougher on the other side. This Mizorowski guy is a freak. He came on in the 3rd inning through 3 scoreless innings to earn the win while hitting 100 on the radar on 31 of his 57 pitches. Each of his first 8 pitches went at least 102.6 miles an hour. Holy shit. And he topped out at 104.3. My God. I mean, this guy's throwing gas, BBs, bullets, whatever you want to say. He said, I think I got so fired up, adrenaline pumping, didn't really know where my feet were, but we landed, so it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Imanaga didn't have it. Twice in the first 3 innings, he retired the first 2 batters before running into trouble, and it was home runs. He allowed multiple homers in 6 of his last 8 appearances. In other words, he's been getting jacked. Vaughn tied the game in the bottom of the 1st with a drive over the left field wall after Contreras and Yelich delivered 2-out singles. So 2-out singles, they get guys on, then this guy ties the game with a home run. It's the first playoff game in which each team hit a 3-run homer in the 1st inning. Contreras said, I thought it just brought the energy back into the dugout, and that's what Vaughn has been doing ever since he got here. He's been able to put up big swings on balls and produce for us like this. I think it was one of the big keys to us winning the game there. Contreras shot 411 to left with 2 outs in the 3rd. That gave him the lead. Vaughn's 1st inning drive marked the first time the Brewers had ever hit a 3-run homer or a grand slam in the postseason. They got their second just 3 innings later when Churio, your boy, connected on a 419-foot blast off Daniel Palencia. Counsell said, you're not going to win playoff games giving up 2 3-run homers. It's too much to overcome. Churio was in the leadoff spot after tightness in his hammy caused him to leave the second inning of their 9-3 Game 1 win. So 9-3, 7-3. All they do is get it done. Churio went 3 for 3 with 3 RBIs in the opener before he left the game, making him the first player to have 3 hits in his first 2 innings of a postseason game. The Brewers get it done like you read about, and we hit both of those baseball playoff games last night for you and the prop game in the Monday Night Football. So, like I said, we ended up 3-2. Now, today, you got 2 more in baseball in these divisional series, and it's as good as it gets. Seattle's at Detroit. That series is 1-1. Both clubs won a game 3-2 in Seattle. Now you got game 3 at Comerica. The Tigers won the series opener in 11 innings. Seattle followed up with its win to avoid being in an 0-2 hole. Rodriguez drove in the winning run after Raleigh doubled, and that's how they won that game too, and that's how they got to 1-1. A.J. Hinch, the manager of the Tigers, basically saw a missed opportunity when they had a chance to go up 2-0. Detroit had just 3 hits in the game 2 loss when Polanco's power and Rodriguez's tie-breaking double in the 8th that I talked about gave him the win. Rodriguez is 4 for 9 with a homer and 3 RBIs in the series, and obviously has been doing some damage. Josh Naylor wasn't in Detroit on Monday after leaving the team to travel to Arizona, where his wife has given birth to a baby. Seattle doesn't know whether he's going to be available for games 3 and 4, and he's got a big bat. But Naylor 0 for 8 in the series and committed an 8th-inning error in Game 2 that helped the Tigers erase a 2-0 deficit. So maybe he should just go have his baby. Jack Flaherty will be the Tigers' pitcher against Gilbert Grape. Logan Gilbert will go for the Mariners in a battle of righties in Game 3. It'll be Flaherty's second outing of the postseason. He received a no decision in Game 3 of the AL Wildcard Series. Thursday against the Guardians, he allowed 1 run and 3 hits over 4 2/3 of a 6-3 win. Flaherty's 2-5 with a 5 ERA and 11 career playoff appearances. That's 10 starts. He's 2-0 with a 4.2 ERA and 4 career starts against Seattle. He received a no decision against the Mariners in mid-July when he gave up 2 runs and 4 hits over 5 innings. Gilbert is making his second career postseason start. He gave up 3 runs and 5 hits over 5 1/3 in a no decision against the Astros in the 22 ALDS. He's 1-2 with a 3.2 ERA and 5 career starts against the Tigers. He's 0-1 with a 2.61 ERA and 2 starts against the Tigers this season. So there you go. That's the first game. That game's at 4:08 Eastern on FS1. And then at 8:08 in the Boogie Down on River Ave in the Bronx, the Yankees are facing elimination. They have been lit up by the Blue Jays, Guerrero, and the rest of his teammates. Those games in Toronto were an abortion. And New York's got pitching problems. New York in big trouble. Toronto on the verge of sweeping the first postseason series between the teams ever. The Yankees hope they can figure it out. They have to. Now that they're playing at Yankee Stadium in Game 3 of the best of 5 tonight. New York's going to send lefty Carlos Rodon to the bump against Shane Bieber for the Jays. The Yankees want to extend it. If they can, then Cam Schlittler will start Game 4 on Wednesday. And then the bottom line is, it could be a Toronto bullpen game if it gets to that Game 4. Toronto wants to win it tonight. Of course, terrible outings by Heel. Max Fried was no better. The Yankees are trying to avoid being swept in the ALDS for the first time. It's their third attempt at overcoming a 2-zip ALDS deficit. They did it in 2001 and in 2017. Guerrero has been a stud. He went 6 for 9 with 2 homers and 6 RBIs in the first 2 games. The Yankees were outscored 23-8. They had a 12.94 ERA, and the Jays batted .392. That's disgusting. Aaron Boone said he's a guy that hits the ball incredibly hard. Guerrero, he has a good idea of the strike zone, has power when he gets in that mode a little bit. A little bit? Are you fucking kidding me? A little bit? He torched your ass. Obviously, he's hit a couple of balls out of the ballpark, but also shown his kind of bat-to-ball skills where he can spray it around the yard. He certainly hurt us. Hopefully we can contain that in this game in New York. Guerrero, he's not the only Blue Jay that's lit. Toronto's 23 runs are the most through the first two games of a postseason series in team history, and the Jays totaled 8 homers among 29 hits in the first two games. 8 homers and 29 fucking hits. It was embarrassing. Bottom line, flat out embarrassing. Dalton Varsho hit 2 home runs in Sunday's 13-7 win. He's 6 for 8 in the series. They can't keep him off the bases. And then how about the fat catcher, Alejandro Kirk, 3 for 9 in the series, homered twice in Saturday's 10-1 rout. That should have been a 2-2 ball game. Bases loaded, nobody out, and Gosman throws a splitter 2 feet off the plate. An absolutely awful pitch, a ball without a doubt. Judge swings and misses at it like a hack. It would have been an automatic run. He would have walked in a run, and then he had 4 straight balls to Bellinger to follow it up. That would have tied the game at 2-2. Instead, they got Bellinger's walk that brought in the only run of the inning. When they had bases loaded, nobody out, they got 1 run out of it. And then after that, when it was 2-1, they gave up 8 more runs. It was like one after the fucking next. They just kept scoring and scoring. And I was losing my mind. I was swearing so much I thought I was going to have a stroke. Springer and Clement have also homered as the Blue Jays have improved to 10-5 against the Yankees this year. Toronto's output against New York marked the first time a team scored double-digit runs twice in a division series against the Yankees. Unbelievable. Their manager Schneider said, we're going to put the ball in play. We've done that all year. I think the home runs are a byproduct of really good approach against specific pitchers that you're really just focused on at this time of the year. The Yankees are hitting .232 in the series, but they're hoping their 7-run output against Toronto, their bullpen, so they got to the bullpen for the 7 runs. They want that to carry over to tonight. Aaron Judge is 4 for 7 in the series, but he struck out, like I said, with the bases loaded on a crappy pitch, and it pissed me off. Bellinger said it's a tough task. Toronto's obviously a very good baseball team. For myself, the confidence in the locker room that we have is strong. We got a strong bond. We got a bunch of guys that like playing together. It's fun playing together, so we don't want this ride to end. They want Rodon to pitch innings. Heel and Fried gave up 9 runs and 12 hits in 5 2/3 innings. Rodon is 12-1 with a 5.32 ERA and 5 postseason starts for the Yanks. In Game 2 of the wild card against Boston, he allowed 3 runs on 4 hits in 6+ innings. He's 2-3 with a 4.7 ERA and 9 career starts against the Jays. Not good. 0-1 with a 3.6 ERA and 2 starts against the Jays this season. He struggled against Guerrero, who's 10 for 17 against Rodon. Jesus, what a mess. He's going to light up Rodon. Look for runs. However, he has held Springer to a 192 average, Rodon, and Kirk is 3 for 11 against him. Bieber's 1-1 with a 5 ERA and 3 career postseason starts, with 2 coming against the Yankees versus the Yankees 2-1 with a 4.11 ERA and 5 career starts. Bieber's 4-2 with a 3.57 ERA and 7 regular season starts. After being acquired from the Guardians, he last pitched September 26 against Tampa, allowing 2 runs on 5 hits in 5 innings. So the Yankees either win tonight or they get swept and they'll get booed out of Yankee Stadium. It'll be ugly in the Bronx if they don't win this game tonight. They need to show up and they need to show out and they need to score runs and they need to hit fucking home runs. And that's all there is to it. How about this? Hockey is back. Everybody loves hockey. Hockey, the NHL season starts tonight. It's official. The games count. There's 3 of them. They're raising the banner in South FLA with all of that gorgeous snatch. The Blackhawks are taking on the Florida Panthers, 2-time defending Stanley Cup champs. The game's at 5 o'clock. Florida, a heavy favorite, minus 289. And the game is on ESPN. Triple header on ESPN. Because that game's at 5. And then at 8 o'clock, it's my beloved Penguins taking on the Rangers at the world's most famous in New York City on 33rd and 7th. Wow, Rangers heavy, minus 226. The Penguins looked really good in the preseason. Hopefully it can carry over and they give the Rangers a game. The nightcap is at 10:30 out west in LA at the Crypt. It's the Kings and Colorado. It's a pick'em, minus 110 both ways. I want to get you excited about a couple things. Thursday, your boy Mickey will be back with me doing Ferrall and a Prophet. He's finally going to be returning from his vagabond trips all over the world. This guy was in the San Juan Islands riding bikes. Then he went to Napa drinking wine. Then he went to the Windy City. He's in Chicago. I don't see why he doesn't go to that Cubs game 3, you know what I mean, on the north side. Why not? Because he's not coming back to New York City until Thursday, but he's going to do the Ferrall and the Prophet podcast on Thursday. That's very exciting, right? But what I want to tell you about is there's football this week. Besides Saturday and Sunday, the obvious, Wednesday there's a college football game, a pair of them. Missouri State is playing at Middle Tennessee. You may not like it, but why not? It's on the Deuce at 7:30. And Liberty's at UTEP at 8 on CBS Sports Network. They both stink. They're both 1-4. That Missouri State team's 2-3. Middle Tennessee's 1-4. Middle Tennessee's home. They're getting 2.5. UTEP is home in the game against Liberty. They're getting 2.5. Thursday, we've got the NFL game on Prime. It's Philly against Dart and the Giants at Snoopy in East Rutherford. After I watched the Giants on Sunday with 5 turnovers, 3 picks, a couple fumbles. I think it was 3 fumbles and 2 picks. That's what it was. I thought Dart carrying the ball like a loaf of bread and fumbling the rock, that was embarrassing. Scattaboo fumbling inside the 10, that was embarrassing. They just turn the ball over all day. The Giants suck monkey onions. They're getting 7.5 in that game, 41.5, taking on the Eagles, who lost their first game. They lost to the Broncos at the Link on Sunday coffee break. 21-17. They had the Hail Mary at the end of the game. It didn't work, but they're on the road against the G-Men, Big Blue. Even though they play like they have little balls, little boy blue. That's who the Giants are now. Thursday, you've got Louisiana Tech. They're 4-1 at Ferrall State. They're 3-2. Ferrall State getting 6.5. That's at 7 o'clock. 7:30 is East Carolina at Tulane down in Nollins. Tulane's 4-1. I love that Jewish quarterback Retzlaff. He's been great. They're winning. They're laying 6.5 to 3-2 East Carolina. That's going to be a good game. That one's on ESPN at 7:30. At 8 on the Deuce, Southern Miss. They're 3-2 at Georgia Southern. They're 2-3. Georgia Southern, the home dog, they're getting 3.5. And Jacksonville State, they're 2-3, and in first in the Conference USA. They're playing at 0-5 Sam Houston. Sam Houston is getting 7.5. That game, as I said, 8 o'clock on CBS Sports Network. Those are the college games leading up to Friday night, where there's 3 more. You got South Florida. The Bulls ranked 24th in the land. They're 4-1. USF at North Texas in Frisco at 7:30 in Texas. It's on the Deuce Friday night, and North Texas is the home dog getting 1.5. At 9 o'clock Friday night on CBS Sports Network, Fresno, who's been surprising, they're 5-1. They get it done. They're playing in Fort Collins, where Jesus lives, against Colorado State. The bottom line is Fresno and Colorado State in Fort Collins. The Rams are 1-4. They suck. They're getting 6.5 as the home dog. There's one other game Friday night. Rutgers at Washington at Husky Stadium in Seattle. Washington with a big comeback win last week against Maryland. They didn't cover, but they got it done 24-20. They're at home, 4-1, laying 10.5 to 3-2 Rutgers. I wanted to give you a look at Saturday's top 25 games because there's tons of great ones. It starts at noon. Pitt at number 25, Florida State. Noles laying 10.5. That game's on ESPN. On ABC at noon, number 8, Bama at number 14, Missouri. Missouri's getting 3. At noon on Fox, number 1, Ohio State at number 17, Illinois. Illini getting 14.5 in Champaign. 12:45 on SEC Network, Washington State at number 4, Ole Miss. The Rebels are 5-0. They're laying 32.5. At 3:30 on ACC Network, Vatech at number 13, Georgia Tech at Bobby Dodd. The Tech, Ramblin' Wreck laying 14.5. 3:30 on ABC. It's the rivalry. Oklahoma and Texas at the Cotton Bowl. Texas laying 2.5. 3:30 on Peacock, NC State and Notre Dame and South Bend. The Irish are 3-2. They're laying 22.5. 3:30 on ESPN, number 22, Iowa State. They lost their first game last week on the road at Cincinnati. They're at Colorado. Buffs are getting 3.5. 3:30, a good one on CBS and Paramount. Number 7, Indiana. Taking on number 3, Oregon at Outson in Eugene. The Ducks are laying 7.5. Tough place to win for the Hurricane Hoosiers. 4:15 on SEC Network, Arkansas at number 12, Tennessee. 4-1 Vols laying 13.5. 7 o'clock, Florida at A&M at Kyle Field in College Station. The 5th-ranked Aggies are 5-0. They're laying 7. 7:30 on ABC in primetime, number 10, Georgia at Auburn at Jordan Hare. Auburn getting 3.5. 7:30 on NBC, number 15, Michigan at USC at the Coliseum in LA. USC laying 2.5. 7:30 on Fox, Kansas at number 9, Texas Tech. The Raiders are 5-0. They're laying 13.5. 7:45, South Carolina at number 11, LSU. Tigers are 4-1. Lost last week. They're laying 9. 8 o'clock on the Deuce, number 18, BYU at Arizona in Tucson. Arizona's getting 2.5. They're 4-1. BYU's 5-0. And at 10:15, the nightcap on ESPN, number 21, Arizona State. 4-1 at 4-1 Utah at Rice Eccles and Salt Lake Shakers. Utah's laying 5.5. You got to be kidding me. Games on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then the top 25 on Saturday. College football out the ass all week. Don't forget, Mickey's back Thursday to do Ferrall and a Profit from his journeys. He'll be back in New York City doing the podcast with me. On Saturday, we do the most kick-ass podcast ever because you get tons of free college football plays, and we set the table for Sunday NFL Pain Day. Don't miss any podcast that we do. And remember, we're on the SiriusXM app. Just search Ferrall on the SiriusXM app and you're good to go. You know where else to find us. We're everywhere. And on Profitable.tv, you get the picks packages, sign up for a profit package, max profit package, or elite package. I mean, we've been killing it for you. You know it. Everybody knows it. Everybody's doing it. They just won't admit it. So you're good to go with picks, and you can get into the community and talk shit with one another and talk shit to us, and we'll talk shit back to you. And hopefully all of us together are going to make a lot of money hitting bets. So you're good to go with the podcast on a Tuesday. Hopefully the Yankees will survive for me tonight. I don't want to watch them getting swept by the Blue Jays. Make me sick to my stomach. I'll see you again Thursday with Mickey on the Ferrall and the Profit podcast. Have a great Tuesday. Shake out, ooh, shake out, ooh.